courts
okay.
in any way.
All right. So, Wakili, you know, we would like to know money that was collected. You know, there was no legal framework. When that money was being collected, it was unconstitutional. So, and Kenyans have been asking, how do we get our money back? So if we are to get our money back, refunded, if it's done, it's under which law and who will be accountable for that refund?
Let me start with that first. It is out there in public domain that counsel representing Kenya Revenue Authority and her colleague Senator Ogada, they were in court. They pledged that if a declaration of unconstitutionality was established, the government was ready to refund the money. Mm-hmm. That is okay. That is what they said. Mm-hmm. From the legal premise, McFoy, the case called McFoy, anything that is not firmed in law mm-hmm. is utterly useless. It is void, and void from the beginning. And therefore, if you collected on the basis of no law, mm-hmm. you have no legal basis to withhold that money. So government should find mechanisms of reconciling the books and dealing with that. It's not for me to advise them. They played on the floor of the court that will be given back.
But you know, Akili, the question is under which law and who will be accountable?
If you take my money and you have no basis for taking the money, that does not make that my money. I ought to give it, you ought to give it back. And therefore, that is the legal quandary that we are in. Mm-hmm. That this money, the declaration by the High Court was that it was unconstitutional.
All right.
To the extent that it was collected without law. Mm-hmm. There can be no taxation without law. Mm-hmm. So why withholding the money? The government ought to find a way of dealing with that. It's not for me to advise them.
All right.
This meeting that has been referred to, there are structures within which to hold meetings. We have an institution created by law called the National Council for Administration of Justice, NCAJ. That is the institution where inter-branch conversation within government should take place. This idea of having cup of teas and parleys outside the rubric of the law is conduct really unsettling. We ought to respect the law. These are not personal offices. They are institutions of state and institutions of government.
All right.
The judiciary must be seen to be above board, and dalliance with the politicians we ought to engage the politicians at an arm's length.
All right.
If we fail to inspire confidence, because right now I can tell you confidently mm-hmm. that this country is sane only because of the judiciary.
All right.
If you were left to our elements with the politicians, the facts are out there. You know what this will be.
And Senator, that housing levy